Show me the one safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
You know this is no place for a child.
Wherever I go, he goes.
So I've heard.
This is the way.
Yes. Hello
Is
and
this the
welcome
way?
to the periodic table of awesome. My name is Dion, and that was totally for me.
Oh, okay.
We're not actually talking the Mandalorian.
No, we're not.
I
Well,
mean, we might be a little
Well,
bit,
we-
but there's only been one episode, and that
Yeah.
seems, kind of a
presumptuous.
little.
I mean, we could talk about it, but then we have to make sure everyone's seen it because there's certain spoilers in there. But I'm not going to say that. Who's out there? Who's with us tonight?
Well, we
Who
can
are
say
you?
a big hello to Predakangar, and that's about it.
Hello.
Did people
Aw.
forget it was Tuesday? 'Cause
Nah.
Uh,
They're
I
all
mean, there are 9 people there, but
they're all drunk
I
from
mean,
the Melbourne
maybe-
Cup. That's what's going on.
Ew.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
Anyway.
Maybe not
Oh,
everybody has watched all of the things we plan to horrendously spoil tonight.
Oh, come on. Oh, actually, I forgot about that one. I just got to put that little logo up there because, yes, it's
Yeah.
definitely Spoiler Town.
All spoilers today.
Maybe they
It
haven't
is all
seen it.
spoilers
That's the
all
thing.
time.
There we go. I'll make it bigger. Maybe I can cover Quinny's face.
I'm
There we go.
that for me,
Spoiler.
I'd appreciate
Quinny's
that a lot.
spoiled.
Yeah,
there we go.
I like being spoiled all over
Yes.
my face. Actually, no, I was wrong. Panda Attack is also here.
They're all there.
Thank you.
They're all there
A
now.
bit quiet.
Well, now that
and
you're talking about
Brent
that,
and a few
perhaps,
others, so thank
perhaps
you
you
so
could
much for joining.
introduce yourselves.
Well, what
What
a
all
lovely
speak at
idea.
once.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I did that already.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm Quinny.
Good.
I'm Jill.
I'm Peta.
Excellent.
Yay.
We
Yes.
did it. Yeah.
Yay! Congratulations. That wasn't painful at all.
Why is that always the hardest bit?
Mainly because we don't have any set rules, and also I just do things because I'm in control. I get to do things like just play the Mandalorian trailer because I wanted to.
Something we never really planned.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're doing a roundup. Have you got all the trailers in a supercut? No.
No.
It's just, what are you going to play? What I want.
Yeah.
We're going to stuff.
Things.
You know.
I tell you what, though, I watched Adam Savage's review of the Sideshow Collectibles, the child figure,
Mhm.
and it's
Oh,
life size, and it's silicon cast, and it has tiny little fuzzy hairs, and it has actual fleecy jacket, and
Yeah.
I'm like, how much is this going to cost me? Because I really want.
Can it eat a bullfrog?
No, but it comes with this little control knob thing, and
Ooh,
the
that's-
eyes.
I
You
always
shine a torch into the eyes, you can actually see like the iris and everything in there. Like this thing has high detail.
Oh God. Well,
and after
okay.
playing with Dion's one all weekend, like
Excuse
I
me?
really want one.
The Baby Yoda, you mean, not the knob.
yes, the
Yes,
Baby
thank you.
Yoda.
Checking. Okay. Yep. It was Halloween.
Just to
Not
be
Dion's
entirely
child.
Yes, yes.
Dion's Baby Yoda.
Um.
Show
Do
me
you
the
have
baby.
a hot take, Dion?
Oh,
Having watched one episode?
a hot take. A hot take on The Mandalorian season 2, episode 1.
Given you insisted on playing the trailer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
give it a, yeah, absolutely. One, my hottest take was, why did it take me 45 minutes to log in? Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh.
But that was fine because I was just like I was zen with that whole kind of thing where it was like, fine. I didn't want to have high expectations, and then I watched it, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't go with high expectations, but I also thought it was a pretty good episode. And that it came in. And the only thing that I could complain about was there was some ropey fucking CGI. And then when you stand back and you're like, actually, all of this is shot in fucking Jon Favreau's garage.
And
Yeah,
the
in that
CGI was all done by
super
people
high-tech
working remotely.
ILM studio, like whatever.
Yeah, Jon Favreau's...
Like the cutting edge technology, Dion.
his VR garage, as we call it.
Looks
I was like,
Hang on,
right.
which effects did you think looked ropey?
Oh, there was a few moments where it was like traveling across the dune seas and stuff, or they were right at like animals there, and I was like, that's fucking shit.
Oh yeah, that's always looked realistic.
Riding animals is always very hard though to get that right.
It was the speeder bikes across the dunes. Anyway, we can go all into that. But yes, I had a good time with it. Did you have a good time with it, or have you not seen it yet?
I'm up to speed.
Excellent.
My thoughts on it were I thoroughly enjoyed myself with it. It was a lot of fun.
Excellent.
But a few other people were like, so which version of the Crate Dragon did you want to go with? Because there's one
that was
where,
me.
you know.
I was like, come on, deep, like, which nerd do you want to go? I was like, is it going to be the Crate Dragon that was featured in the episode 4-1 where C-3PO walks past the skeleton? Or do you want to go through the Crate Dragon that was featured in multiple video games and written about, which looks more like a giant lizard?
Yeah, or do you want the one that is just clearly somebody going, let's do our reference thing for Dune?
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah, okay, sorry, we're boring people. Actually, there is a version of the Crate Dragon called the Greater Crate Dragon, which has about 9 legs. Look, I enjoyed it. It had the Crate Dragon Pearl. It had a callback in the audio to Obi-Wan's noise that he made when he was in episode 4. I thought that was great. It had Jawas.
What was it? Gonk.
Yeah, gonk.
That's gonk. Yep, Dion,
Yes.
you asked for it. Shut up. All right, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? There we go. I changed topic. What are we doing tonight? What are we going to talk about?
We are doing the boys raised by wolves in Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Plus others.
Yes. Doom lower decks. colon Doom lower.
So
basically, we've watched the beginning of lots of things.
Sure.
And talked about the beginning of lots of
We've
things.
even rated
in the past
them
few
too.
months. And now we've watched the end of some of those things between us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd talk about the end of the things and whether our
Sure.
impression from the beginning of the things held up.
Which is one of those things that is very difficult for what we do, because quite often we are looking, very rarely do we get a chance to watch the entire show and rate an entire show. Quite often we're going by a couple of episodes, 3, 4, 5, if we're lucky. I mean, recently we got to watch all of Truth Seekers, and that was a pleasant rarity where we could actually go, the entire series is this.
Yeah.
And also now people can have gone and watched the entire series of Truth Seekers and see whether or not they agree with us.
True. Yeah, people go, I hope you're enjoying Truth Seekers. Has anyone in the chat watched Truth Seekers? No? No? Maybe? Anyway, tell us.
And as Panda said, who watched the middle? Yeah, we watched the start.
We make Beck watch
Some of
all
us
them.
watched the end.
We make
Some
Beck,
of us
Beck
just read the
watches all
wiki
the
for
middle
the middle.
ones. We make Beck watch it. It's like, Beck, watch these 2 episodes and then tell us if it was good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good.
Finding
I'm
the
glad
labor.
that you watched an entire day to Truth Seekers. I hope that it was
A
fun.
day well spent.
Hey, and Justin Wood says hello. Hi.
Hello. Oh, which one do you want to talk about first? Who's got issues? Who's got things they want to get off their chest about the stuff that we have reviewed and we want to talk about first?
Look, I feel like you really want to talk about something, and Quinny really wants to talk about something badly.
Do you want us to start here and see what's going to happen and then move on? Or do you want it because, I mean, it could just go for about 20 minutes.
We'll stop
Just
here.
checking. Good.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
They will gonk us if needs be.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
actually.
Okay.
Kick us off.
Well, sure. I want to go back to the podcast which is podcast number 183. All those weeks ago, back in 27 years ago in September, when people were still locked down and things were terrible. Where we reviewed Raised by Wolves, which was Ridley Scott's homage to himself.
True.
It's like, I like that Ridley Scott. He seems a good fellow. Maybe I should do a TV series. Cha-cha-cha.
I like all of those things I've made before. Maybe
Yeah.
I should make another series with all of them again.
Yeah, I made a movie and people really liked it. And then I made some more movies because I thought they were good. And I just stopped reading the comments. And then I made a TV series that was all the things that I did in the movies that I made. Anyway, we gave it 77% awesome.
Did we? Good.
Yes, overall.
Wow, that seems high.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does seem high.
Especially coming from me that didn't finish it because it was boring.
I watched an episode and I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I will not be joining you tonight.
And
look,
so
I mean, that one episode that you watched, you weren't sold on at all.
Just it was all too hard. It was just too hard. I mean, I think I did actually have other things going on that week that I couldn't, stuff an entire series into me the way that I have with other things that I haven't necessarily loved.
Okay.
So I did one and I have not been inclined to do any more.
Well, good news, Peter. We're
going to talk about the end of it, so you don't have to.
I can probably say you don't have to. You're not going to miss much because it was pretty fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? And spoilers.
So, it had a really good setup.
Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed where it started, and I enjoyed this sort of thing of it being sorry?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I'm just saying yes. I'm agreeing with you, Quinny.
Sorry.
Yes, and?
Right, no, it was good. I just saw your face move and I couldn't hear what you said. So yeah, it was a really good sort of setup, and then fairly quickly you start realizing that I'm not sure they know what they're doing.
Oh,
like
right.
the planet, the planet has these, there's the robots that are looking after the kids, and one of the robots can turn into a flying killing machine, and that's all well and good. And then there are monster alien things that live on the planet, and then there are big holes that maybe have giant snakes in them. We don't know.
Yeah.
But then by the end,
even by the end, you still don't know?
Oh, I had no fucking idea where the end went. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
That's not where I thought that would go.
No. So by the end of it, the weird mother android has become pregnant with a something.
Yes, she
may have been impregnated by a memory of her lost creator.
Yeah, she fucked a VR ghost in one of those stasis tubes.
Yeah.
And gets pregnant.
Yes. And it's totally fine.
And
did
totally
we resolve the weird ghost thing? No, we did not resolve the weird ghost thing.
Meanwhile, what's his name? Travis Fimmel has gone down the path of fucking sanity and become a religious nut job.
Even though
but he didn't like the religious people.
Nope.
No, of course he didn't
he's
like
a
it, but
religious
now
nut
he
job.
is, because he's like, now Soul talks to him and he knows what. And the only way for
Oh yeah, and there's a giant dodecahedron that maybe burns people, but maybe doesn't. But there's no explanation for that whatsoever.
Also, later on, you see a tiny dodecahedron, which maybe has an alien embryo in it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's an alien baby gestating machine.
It has a weird spinny head that vomits up stuff, and everything about it just turns weirder and weirder and weirder until by the end of it, the mother who has got this baby inside her, and you're like, oh shit, okay, is it gonna, honestly, she could have given birth to a xenomorph from the Aliens franchise, and I would have been like, yep, totally
fine.
Okay, if that had happened at the end, I would have been there for it.
Wait, just before we, I just want to step one thing back, Quinny, before we get to that bit, because
sorry.
this is spoilery, by the way. So if anyone's watching,
this is 100%.
We've got the huge logo here.
I'm going to tell you what happened at the end. I did also like that at one point, the weird priest rapey guy who was in the fucking stasis helmet ended up re-injecting Mother's blood into him, and he got super buff and super strong. That was weird.
Sounds like the plot of an anime.
It's,
I love that
absolutely.
that we're calling the weird priest rapey guy.
Yeah, that's about all you can see.
Head.
Yeah, who has like a spike bucket, like a inside out Iron Maiden.
Didn't think it could get better.
Yeah.
No,
No,
but-
don't worry. But the thing, couldn't go for it. Tell me.
Okay.
Tell everyone
So
what
by
happened at
of
the
it,
end.
Like, mother and father, mother pregnant with a we don't know what, that has been fed with the blood of children and with the blood of androids and monsters.
Everything.
And everything.
She gets super
that-
cannibally.
Yeah, it could be super cannibally. They both decide that it's best that they're going to kill each other, so they dive into the
One of the
molten
holes.
core of the planet.
One of the holes.
Yes.
First, yeah, the mother and father get in the little ship and fuck off and go, no, we don't know what's going to happen with the baby. Dive through the big hole that we see that's everywhere, and end up as Quinny. Sorry, carry on.
They dive into the molten core, and we think, oh, good, they've managed to kill themselves.
Thank
Then they
God.
dive out of the other side of the molten core.
Yep,
That's not
out
how
another
facts work.
hole.
No. And then out of mother, what pops down?
Wait, well, I mean, I'd just like to say, the metaphor of sperm and an egg with the molten core that the ship goes in is just
that looks
ah,
a bit spermy.
real subtle.
Yeah. Not even slightly.
But they, like, unfortunately, they just seem to have popped straight through the planet out a hole and ended up in the tropical side, like area
But then they
of the
decide
planet.
they don't like it there, so they go back to where they were before.
Through the hole?
Yep.
Well, no, they don't get that. No, they go. They've gone through the hole and they pop out the other side. Yeah, they pop out the other side, and when they get there, oh no, that's sorry, just before
Because
that.
they end up where the other people are.
No, they
Anyway,
didn't.
don't worry too much about it.
No, wait.
I'm
Oh
really
fucking no! I forgot about this. We completely missed this. Sorry, everyone who's immediately losing it in the chat. Just before they do that, mother gives birth.
Oh,
to the thing.
Was that before or after?
Yes, because she realizes that happened. And that's why they go
The
through
bad
the
things
planet to and end up
Okay.
popping out the other side. But the thing that she gives birth to is a flying snake.
A gigantic,
A
flying
gigantic
snake.
flying. No, well, a regular size
lamprey.
flying. It's a lamprey. It's literally
Yeah.
a fucking. But it flies. It can fly around,
It just flies around her.
and it stays around her, and it sucks onto
What is
her.
its method of propulsion for flying?
Nothing.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
Science. Or
What
God.
mushrooms does Ridley take because I want
But she realizes, yeah. But
Did you ever
it
watch that movie Dreamcatcher?
starts
The
fucking.
Stephen King movie? Dreamcatcher?
It
'Cause
starts.
the monsters in that are these lamprey things
Yeah.
that are snakes.
It starts feeding on her, and then she realizes, oh shit, this thing could be dangerous and might get really big. So that's when her and father decide they're going to fuck off and fly into the planet. And you think, okay, they're going to commit suicide and kill the thing because it's a thing, and they've given this android has given birth to a thing. So is that why humans should never mess with androids because you'll create a demon kind of
And it's
thing.
God, but is it?
But then it pops out the other, it pops out the
Who
other
knows?
side, and they're like, oh fuck.
Oh, we can't die. Shit.
Yeah, and then the last thing you see is the giant fucking snake has gotten gigantic. Like one of the big flying skeleton snakes that you see, like the skeletons from the stuff. Anyway, it was fucking weird.
Yep.
It was utter
Sounds like it.
stupidity.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm glad I did not waste my time with that show.
I dig that whole thing of Ridley Scott where he's trying to create a feel and a mood and everything.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
down for that.
Yeah.
But then you realize that I felt like I'd gone down that path like with Lost, where partway through that they had no fucking clue where they were going.
Yeah, but I still wasted 8 years of my life watching that show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This felt like a lot of that.
And also, just to not forget the people back in the other side where they were, the atheist ship shows up. So the God
Oh.
bothering ship, sorry, the Soul Brotherhood ship that was there was fine, and then the atheists have finally turned up now on the planet, so that helps fill the void of those people.
So there's going to be some kind of conflict next season, apparently.
Yep.
Sure, I just like in the end of the episode summary in Wikipedia it says, and they crash on the other side of the planet in what seems to be the tropical zone, and the fast-growing snake baby escapes and flies away.
I love that they could say it so casually.
Yeah, and you're like,
Fast-growing snake.
cool.
And I'd like, as Predator puts it, hello, Jormungandr was born. Verily, this will be the new Midgard. Yeah, it makes roughly about as much sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you think? Given that summary by us, which sounds a little, I kind of want to reduce my score from 77 to maybe 50.
Yeah.
Just to be like, I don't know, that's fucking weird.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, it really does disappear up its own fundament fairly spectacularly.
Yeah, yes, it does.
And by the end of it, you're like, Ridley, come back. I don't know where you've gone, but please come back.
Ridley, come back.
'Cause-
Look, it just sounds like a smaller, self-contained universe that he was trying to do with like the whole Alien franchise. Like
Absolutely.
Alien and Aliens, brilliant. Put them
Yep.
together, that's great. Leave it on the shelf. But then when you start doing all of the other movies and all of these sequels and these trying to build like this history of how the xenomorphs were created, and I'm like, oh god, can we just dial it back? Like,
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah,
these as a
yeah,
horror
this-
movie, and it works. Like, we don't need all of this extra stuff.
Yeah, and all of this religious fucking overtones and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like, this is everything that was wrong with Prometheus and
Yep.
Alien Isolation.
Covenant.
Isolation? No,
No, that's the game.
Alien
Yeah,
Covenant.
what's-
Covenant.
Covenant. Thank you.
Covenant.
Remember
yes.
with the teeny,
With that weird religious thing and the hole in the sky and
had the
all that
teeny
weird crap.
VFX like master replicas alien.
Yeah, everything that was wrong with that is this distilled into a TV show
Yeah.
with none of the desire to see more because you like aliens.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's like everything wrong with it without the good bits.
exactly. If Alien, like the movie franchise, had gone the way that Isolation did with like Ripley's daughter and
Yeah, it
still
would've been
fighting
awesome.
xenomorphs, that would have been sick. But yeah, once you
No.
start getting into the weird,
Yep.
world
Excellent.
building.
Now I've got that off my chest.
Yes, good.
That's enough time to devote to Ridley Scott. Who wants to talk about something else?
Well, I'm so glad I only watched an episode of that.
Yeah, you did well.
Thanks, guys. Maybe
Yeah,
we should
come
talk
on.
about something really good now.
You don't want to watch an
Yes.
android
Yes.
get pregnant with a snake baby? Weird.
Who here finished The Boys?
Excuse me?
Oh, that's not what was
like-
on my mind when I said something really good. but
Oh,
God,
I really liked it.
I didn't finish The Boys. My opinion of The Boys remains as it was when we
Ah, dear.
reviewed it, which is
Yeah.
it's quite good, but I'm not in the mood. And given I'm not in the mood, I didn't
Fair.
watch anymore.
Right.
That's fair. I love it. It's like, it's
Um,
good. I'm not in the mood.
I watched 2 more episodes of it and got to the bit where there was a giant penis attacking people.
Yes.
And I was like, cool.
Strangling
haven't
people.
gone any further.
Strangling people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
happy
which
to
I
spoil, so go
actually
ahead.
saw in a Japanese weird porn movie once, and but let's not go there.
I
don't
too
know.
have seen that movie.
Wow!
You're
I
at
didn't ever
Sokidoji.
think I would ever. That was with the girls that shot the balls out of. Yes! Oh my god! I never knew. there'd be
Everyone
somebody
is
else that
dying
saw
to know the name of that film now.
Are they?
Um,
You know, you're with like the right kind of people when you get that kind
When we
Feels
both
like that weird
seen the
Japanese
same
porn.
weird
Oh, yeah, I've
Japanese
seen that
porn.
one.
Yeah. I mean, technically, there could have been any number of them that I have seen that do have those kind of tentacles. But
cool. So it's not a review about that. Maybe that's a later show.
we can
Dion,
do
did
Legend
you
of the
finish
Overfiend and
The Boys?
I did finish The Boys, all of season 2. I watched it and I thought it was fine,
oh,
but
okay.
I thought it kind of went
Okay.
to do itself a little bit too like okay. I thought it kind of ate itself a little bit by trying to top itself by how weird it was.
Okay.
It seemed to
Yeah.
be building for a bunch of things that it was trying to sort of say, and then when it got to that climactic point, it really wasn't what it was supposed to be or what I thought it would be. And then they kind of did that. I think they kind of did that on purpose because I reckon that they added that last scene of the Homelander in the final episode just like the whole series. It was such a disappointment, and then it was frustrating, and then he didn't know what to do, so he just went and stood on a building and masturbated over a city. That's
But that's like on brand for him. I don't know.
yeah, but that's actually straight from the comics, and I was like, I respect that. I didn't like what they kind of finished up with the season, how they kind of did that. Like, it was fun. It was a fun ride, but by the end of it, I was like, well, cool, but also not great, and you kind of got rid of a lot of the reasons for things. And next season will be kind of a bit weird. I don't know where they're going to go next season.
Well, didn't they talk about doing like a spin-off series?
Well, like that's kind of what happened with that's kind of like what happened with the comics. Like they did The Boys, and then they went and followed individual characters.
Oh, okay.
And made one shots like Frenchie, or
Yeah, I like Frenchie and Kimiko, and I enjoyed like how their relationship developed. I also liked what happened with Annie's character.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she is like pretty pivotal to the series. I enjoyed what happened to Stormfront because I think there's something I find enjoyable about the batshit crazy stuff that Ennis comes up with. And it's what got me through 3 seasons of help me out here. I've just gone mind blank.
The Craft.
No, Preacher.
Preacher, yeah.
Oh,
I just enjoy like how wild and
Peta.
absolutely insane like his storytelling is, and I'm here for that really over the top violent comedy.
I feel very bad that I couldn't
just
finish
appeals
Preacher.
to me. Oh, Quinny!
Preacher.
Oh my god, I cried in the last episode.
I did too. Oh my god.
Really?
Yes.
Because I got angry with Preacher after season 1, because I was just like, fuck, you're taking so long to do anything. And so I then couldn't really be bothered giving time to season 2 or 3 or whatever. And now I'm kind of like, shit, I should maybe go back and re-engage with it. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it kind of did drag out a little bit with like what they were trying to do. But I mean, yeah, it was worth it for the wrap up at the end. But yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy all of the weird stuff that happens in The Boys. Yeah. And I'm not really like over analyzing the story too much.
No, I still think like it's really good. Like it's well acted. They're doing stuff. Like they're really getting to the character and creating like a world that seems to play a lot of satire on the real life situation. Like I think it's doing really well. I think I need to take it more as it's just a nice fun watch, and anything serious they do is just not really hitting the mark. Like there's no emotional punch to the whole thing. Nowadays, I'm just which is what I say, the original failing that I said, which was there needs to be more of the boys being the boys and having consequence, being able to provide consequence for people's shitty actions. That's more interesting. The rest of it now just looks like it's, I feel like it may go down the route of Stargirl in season 3. Remember that one? We talked about Stargirl? With the thing about, it's evil people and they just want to do evil things, and then it turns out that they're just trying to be.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
It's like a dictatorship in a different shell. And at the end of season 2 of The Boys, I was like, are they just trying to do that?
People trying to accomplish good things, but doing it in a way.
Is it just switching out, saying each side is as bad as the other? There's some terrible people on both sides.
A hot take that I don't think any of us really need.
No one wants that.
Yeah. No, do we need to be told, oh, well, there are good people on both sides?
No. Why the fuck would you be boarding up your cities in America if there's good people on both sides?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, that's cutting a little bit close to the edge at the moment on this evening.
Sure. Let's pay, It's all filmed through television. We gave it 79%, by the way.
Okay.
I'd stick with it. I'll stick with it.
I'd stick with it.
Yeah. I've still got 2 episodes to go on it, and I will. I will finish them because I am still interested enough in the characters, and there's enough intrigue to keep me going. So,
I don't know if like any of the major plot points were stuff that happened in the comics, but there was a twist that I didn't see coming, so that was quite interesting.
Yeah, it's divergent at the moment. Think of the comics as the Walking Dead comics, and this is the Walking Dead television show.
Okay.
There's no Daryl, but it is getting different.
Wow.
Okay.
So
it's not. It's too disturbing to be a fun watch for me. So I think I'm going to put that on the back burner for when things are a bit nicer.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand how you wouldn't want to watch a show about
I just have a sick macabre sense of humour. So.
superpowered Nazis. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you want to avoid that? That wouldn't be triggering in the least.
Yeah. All right. What's next? What else is out there?
Well,
what are we talking about?
Peter was leaning in on something.
She was. So she got derailed.
Yeah. Where were you going, Pete?
When I said we should talk about something that was really good.
Yeah.
And then I hijacked it with my hot take.
Lovecraft Country.
Yes. Also really good. Yes.
It's the only one that I did kind of put myself out to make sure that I watched it before tonight, because I really wanted to properly watch it and not be spoiled. Because I really enjoyed it, but it was a bit heavy and a bit scary, so I hadn't got to it yet.
True.
But I'm glad I did.
We'd only watched 2 or 3 episodes.
I think we watched 3.
Yeah,
three were out.
Only 3 episodes, and we gave it 89%, like pretty high rating.
Yeah.
So with the remaining 7 episodes, how do we all feel?
It's a brilliantly constructed series. Yeah,
Ooh,
I would go higher.
A bit higher? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's so well done.
That really looked like I was
just
like,
oh,
that's none of my
higher.
business.
Oh, okay, yeah, fuck yourselves. Yeah, all right.
No,
Son of a
okay. Well, do tell. I do. I'm just going to drink my mint julep.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I watch. I thought that I had all of it, so I watched until the end of episode 9, and then I got to the end of episode 9, and I was like,
Oh,
"What the fuck?
is that it?
There is clearly another episode here." And then I looked it up and went, "Oh, there's 10, motherfucker."
shit.
So
Wait, what?
yes,
Yeah, there's 10.
Oh shit! I haven't seen episode 10.
What?
I thought 9 was the last one.
Finished it.
I thought 9 was the last one.
no.
Anyway.
I'm like, wow, what a way to end it.
Anyway, so in episode 10, the big twist is...
All right, I'm getting off. Call me when I can come back. Shit.
Oh, that's brilliant. So,
I'm gonna watch it right after we.
Of course, like
finish.
Peter and I are the only ones who've actually seen it.
I'm like, yeah, I've seen everything.
Just down.
Yeah. Because I don't know whether there was a weird thing with episode 10 or something, that it got released at a weird way or something, but it didn't show up, and even in the Wikipedia it doesn't actually have a description for that episode yet.
Yes.
So I don't know whether it was...
I'm like, wow, it's weird to have a series with only 9 episodes, but okay.
Yeah, and it finishes on a really weird cliffhanger at the end of...
Yeah, but I'm like, wow, what a way to end it.
I mean,
Nope.
look, okay, I even say, after those 3 episodes we were watching and study, like there's some great episodes in the middle of that season. Like I loved the Meet Me in Daegu Korean one.
Man, that's a weird fucking episode.
Oh yeah,
But
that
also
was hard to
great.
watch while I was trying to do other things so I could get through the series. I have to admit that really stalled my my bid to watch the entire thing. But cool episode.
And I love Jamie Chung, so it was really cool to see her. And I didn't know that she spoke Korean, but damn, she killed it. Yeah.
It's such a weird episode, that one, because it's the first one that, well, I guess the others overtly lean in on the magic, but it's the first one that really kind of goes, but there's also spirits and
like
mythology. I mean, part of it.
Mythology.
Wonderful thing about Lovecraftian things are incorporative, like inclusive of a bunch of different things, and this was a nice separate thing to the kind of very American home ground mythology that they were setting up, and I really liked that. I'm glad that it's in there. Like, it was really cool.
And it's not just that. We end up getting time travel. We end up getting multiple universes. Like, we end up getting all kinds of cool things. And this sounds like a complete mess. But it works. It's beautifully done and really well constructed, and everything for like the every detail is wonderfully done. Plus, also episode 8, one of the scariest things I've seen on television.
Yeah, about to say that. That's fucking
in a while.
Hang on, which one was episode 8?
Jigabobo.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that episode.
Yeah.
And-
that
and
one.
Crazy.
What I love about that is that one is playing on an image, a sort of stereotypical image of Black culture, and the way that the Jigabobo sort of moves and everything is incorporating, dance motifs of minstrels and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like, wow. That's layering it
And
with some real hefty
some
meaning.
of the deep cut that I think we talked about in the original podcast was that it starts with the funeral of Emmett Till, who was lynched in Mississippi, who they referenced in the first episode, I think, as one of the friends of the family by saying, "Oh, that was Bobo. That's his nickname," and then he went through that whole sort of thing. It was just. Yeah, very well done. Like, I mean, what a great callback in a terrible way.
And that's what you can tell that everything has been thought through. Like, that every reference that's in the beginning episodes has a payoff in the ending episodes, and the soundtrack, the music, the mix of modern music with spoken word and archival track, like, just
and the
so cool.
weird meta narrative that was brought in at the end as well, where you're like, what? Okay. So we and I was reading an article about it actually, that the way that they've reincorporated or incorporated the book of Lovecraft Country into the TV series, which then completely changes the meaning of that book and everything, because now it is written by a Black author as opposed to being a white author. It sort of recontextualizes itself in its own series, which is pretty fucking amazing. And that episode, I Am, of Hippolyta is just fucking all over the shop.
So cool.
But yeah, in a good way. Like, I think I was watching going, I don't like this, and then I was watching going, I love this.
Yeah. Like, as someone that multi-screens a lot while watching TV, I have to say that this is one you can't really do that if you want to follow the story.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to not. Like, my attention was just wrapped the entire time watching this show. And it's the second TV series to reference those 1928 massacre.
Yeah.
That was in
Tulsa.
What was the other show called?
Tulsa.
No, it was Watchmen. The TV series.
Yeah.
Which is again the only time that that bombs have been dropped from a plane on American soil and on its own people.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yes, if I had my time over, I forget what I individually rated it, but I would probably push it higher.
So better, yeah. Lovecraft Country is great. I think beautifully acted, beautifully crafted with love.
And some of the most intensely revolting horror stuff on screen.
Yeah.
The sequences where the sister, I think it's Ruby, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. I love her shape
sloughing her skin.
Oh my god.
Is just fucking
There were a
horror.
few of those.
Oh my god, that was disgusting. But at the same
But that's
time,
the great thing. It does the horror it does the genre stuff so well, but at the same time, the social stuff and the relevance of it and the storylines that run through it on top of just amazing horror moments. It's hard to find a lot of fault with it. The only thing that I would say is that I haven't been going around yelling at people to watch this like I did with Ted Lasso. Thank you. That's probably what I was going to want to talk about.
It's two
because
very
it's too
different
scary
things.
for some people. I can't. There are some people that I'm like, you would love this, except it's too scary for you. You can't watch it. Sorry. Because it's real scary.
It is real scary, and it really is a proper horror. And that Jigabobo stuff. Yeah,
horror on many levels, which is quite an achievement, because you can have body horror, you can have monster horror, and you can have the horror of things when they're exposed, like shining a light on all of the terrible shit that humans have done to each other. The problem
real life racism was probably the most horrific thing to watch in the show.
Absolutely, you're watching it going, oh, that happened.
Yeah.
Feeling terrible. But yeah, okay, good. So Lovecraft Country, that goes up.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
which is actually a really lovely thing to be able to kind of, look at a show that improves
Yeah,
with.
we got that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. What else we got?
Well, I mean, I can't talk to Doom Patrol because I haven't been able to finish season 2. But
Fuck you, Quinny.
What?
I've had a lot else on my plate.
God, it was so long ago. What even
Terrible.
happened at the end?
Doom Patrol practically watches itself.
What?
It does practically watch itself, but also there's a lot of other things that I've been watching.
Oh, come on. I mean, I know that we kind of hit the strides with, Danny the Street early on in season 2. And also getting Flex Mentallo and all of those, they came early in the series, like in season 2.
I can't believe that was season 2.
Yeah, I know, but then you get
It's
to you get to some interesting ones later in the series, like Space Patrol. I don't think we got to that one, which was a great, hilarious thing. But I think the nicest thing about the rest of season 2 was the wrap up of Jane and her arc. Like she had a really good arc, and Cliff has a really nice arc. Everyone has nice.
And when you say
arcs.
wrap up, like
Yeah.
it does end on a massive cliffhanger for basically all of the characters.
Sure. Okay, but
But it was a nice arc.
yes, you've got to like sometimes it's a bit hard to get arcs once you've established, like one was all about establishing the character, 2 was like putting him in interesting situations and having even more fun characters in there. And I think by the end of this one, it is kind of like this little misfit band of X-Men kind of, well, not the X-Men.
Proto X-Men.
Proto X-Men, yes, sorry. The Doom Patrol, the original and the best. Was really fun. And I love the series. I can't wait for season 3.
Yeah, I am very excited to get back to it. And it's one of those ones that I'm like, yes, when I've got these other things out of the way, I will then mainline a whole bunch of Doom Patrol. So I am looking forward to that. But are we happy with how we rated it?
Fuck yeah.
What did we give it?
93.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
That right?
Absolutely.
It's just so much.
It's good.
fun.
Yeah, like it's weird. I mean, I don't think that the end of season 1, which was it the giant cockroach and the rat
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking could ever be topped.
I'm sorry, the Sex Patrol episode? That did not top it
Yeah.
for weird?
Sex Patrol was good, but
Yeah,
I
the
think
sex
we.
ghost.
I just love
Sex
that.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, it's true. I just really love that the sex ghosts keep showing up
Yeah.
in the mansion all the way through the end of season 2. Occasionally, there's just 2 ghosts in the corner fucking. It's just like Jesus Christ. If you didn't know, you'd just be like, "What's this?" It's like, "Oh, that's just the time that the ghosts were that sex demon was there." Come on.
Yeah, it's fine. Just ignore it and move on.
Yeah, I think not much we can do wrong with Doom Patrol there. Watch the rest of the season; it's still good, high rated.
Yeah.
So my thing that I'd like to talk about, there have been a couple of animated shows that have cropped up into our orbit, and I've been wanting to talk about, but actually haven't really had a chance, but also haven't necessarily convinced other people to watch them.
We haven't reviewed yet. That's about all the ones that we reviewed recently.
Yeah.
Do you think we got it right? You can tell us in the chat if we got it right, or if we wasted your time. Did you watch Ted Lasso and think it was terrible? Because you could leave. You could just get out.
Yeah. you are dead to us.
I am still telling people, you should watch.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh no.
Get
Always.
on TV, free trial, Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm still telling people about that, and I'm still telling people about Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah.
We haven't actually
I've been
reviewed Schitt's Creek.
rewatching it.
We
Is
talked
it-
about Schitt's Creek when we talked about comfort watching, and I think that was a good place.
That's right.
for it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good place for it. Yeah.
I still haven't watched the last episode because I don't want it to be over.
Oh, that's
But
harsh.
Pete, you can just rewatch it like I am.
Yeah, just,
Oh, I'm gonna cry too much. I just need to be in the right headspace
Wait,
for
is it over or just this season over?
no, it's
Oh,
over.
No, it's over.
It's wrapped up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 6 seasons, Dion.
Yeah.
fuck, is there?
Yep.
Jesus. Okay. All right.
And it's funny, every time I see it come up in conversation online or anything like that, there is this conversation of going, Should I persevere with it? Like,
Yeah.
I'm only partway through season 2.
The
I'm
problem
only
is you
partway
have to
through season-
force people to
Yes,
watch it.
David.
It's such a weird thing that you actually have to push people so hard for that series.
Yeah, just
Because the beginning isn't great.
No,
Just-
it's
you've got to
just-
push through. You
just
just
On a
gotta push
second
through.
watch, it's not that bad.
On the second watch, it's fantastic because you love the characters. But the
already,
whole
yeah,
thing of the series is that you love the characters, and they are not lovable for the first half of the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even halfway through season 2, which is where I'm at. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
really-
and that's the thing. Like, I've seen
seasons,
people
yeah.
saying, I'm really not sure. I've given it 2 seasons and I'm not into it. And I'm like, no, you have to keep going. And yeah, like I had a long conversation at lunchtime today about it with a bunch of other people about why it's so good, and that whole complete lack of any bigotry or hate or anything like that, and why does that work? Because it's so loving. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about.
Sure. What did you want to talk about, Quinny?
I want to talk about an interesting little series that I honestly don't think anyone would be wanting to watch, or didn't think anyone would be into. Star Trek: Lower Decks.
Oh. Sorry, you said Star Trek. I was like, Discovery? Oh.
Well, we are in
Joking,
a very
I'm joking.
strange
I'm being.
time. We are
Right.
in a strange time where we have Star Trek Discovery on TV at the moment.
Yep.
Season 3 has just started. We're 3 episodes into that. We're getting a new Star Trek series called Strange New Worlds with Captain Pike and co going off and doing their thing. Yes, and Jill's very excited.
Hey, so am I. Anton Mount is a great Pike.
He is very, very good.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
Silver Fox. And then we've also got this experimental little thing that has kind of just been thrown out into the world, and I don't think has been given much, attention at all, which is Star Trek Lower Decks, which is an animated series by the people who, well, I don't know whether it's the people who did Final Space, but it's got a lot of that DNA in it.
It's the guy who made it, Mike McMahon, did Solar Opposites and some Rick and Morty.
Yeah, and
So-
it feels a bit like Rick and Morty, and a little bit like Final Space, and a little bit like other stuff, but at the same time, it's very definitely Star Trek.
Yeah. He did some work on Drawn Together in South Park as well.
Yeah, and it's fucking manic. I enjoy it a great deal.
It's pretty deep
But-
cut.
Yeah, in a way, it's a bit like, what were the 2 Stormtrooper characters
Tag and Bink.
in Star Wars?
At
The
the
ones
end
who
of the
just
Mandalorian.
Tag and Bink.
yeah.
Tag and Bink.
Yeah. So yes.
Sorry, we don't all know their name.
Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Do you want me to go down the
So,
comedy
yeah.
Star Wars route? I can.
Sorry.
We can start talking about Star Wars detours if you
Yeah.
want. That's a terrible show. Don't
Yeah,
watch
well-
Star Wars detours. It's really bad.
Like my favorite moment from the Mandalorian season 1.
Was punching the baby.
No, just that kind of like moment of Stormtrooper comedy that plays on all of the Stormtrooper tropes. Because as somebody who's not like a deep Star Wars fan, I'm like, I understood that reference.
So, Peter, how do you feel about Ted Lasso after knowing that Jason Sudeikis punched Baby Yoda?
Oh, I watched that scene before I watched Ted Lasso, so it didn't affect
It's
my enjoyment
fine.
of it at all.
Okay.
I now have a very different aspect on that. I don't know how I feel. I'm very confused. But yeah, so basically, it's the shithouse Star Trek characters. It's the people who work, picking up the thing and moving it to the other side of the set, while the lead characters are having their big dramas and stuff like that.
Sure.
They're on a ship that does second contact.
Yeah.
So-
The ones in Section 23 that get sucked out of the
Absolutely.
What's it-
Like, so
it's
the
the
ship's job
Cerritos.
is, after the head of the fleet have made first contact with a new thing, they're the ship that turns up and then goes, okay, so we need to start working out pronouns, and we need to start working out how we're actually going to talk to one another.
Yeah.
Like it, we,
So they're not like people on the big starships. They're just the C grade starship.
This is the shitty crew on the C grade starship.
Okay.
And it's fun, and it's sort of got a lot of that Rick and Morty kind of slight body horror kind of stuff, where the aliens are all very goopy and slimy and stuff like that. But at the same time, it is set very definitely within existing Star Trek canon. So, occasionally they'll make a lot of jokes about Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and Next Gen.
Okay.
And, did you see when Riker did this? Yeah, well, yeah, that was amazing, but you can't do that. And all that. And they're nerds. The characters are massive fucking engineering nerds.
Yeah.
So they're like, there's an episode that starts with them sitting around comparing which sound of warp core they like the most. I like the one that goes warm, 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 and I like the one that goes shh. And it's goofy, and by the end of the first season, you're like, shit, they're like, they do some pretty cool large scale space battles and shit like that, but the characters you've kind of got to like and everything. I'd be very surprised if it gets picked up for more seasons, because it's the kind of thing that, like, hardcore Star Trek fans are looking at it going, the fuck is that? Kids are looking at it going, I don't get Star Trek. This is not cool.
So it's a very niche audience.
It's essentially aimed at me.
It's kind of a bit. It's like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead thing, It's a lot of jokes that you don't get if you don't understand the main players. So they're doing on stage things that are supposed to happen off, which I think is fun, but it does require references to get 90% of the jokes that are going on.
Yeah.
I might give that a crack, because what you were describing, Quinny, sounds funny to me, so I think I might enjoy it.
Look, if you watched Next Gen and you enjoyed it, this is a whole bunch of very loving nods for you.
Good, yes.
Where they're kind of making, like, there's a point where they go into the holodeck to do some training, and one of them has created a helpful little avatar to help them with training, and it's meant to be like Clippy, except it's a Star Trek badge.
Oh my god! Okay, this sounds great.
But Clippy may be a bit homicidal. Anyway,
yeah.
Clippy is frightening. If anyone grew up in the 90s and you know what Clippy is, that shit is terrifying.
Mainly because you're not looking.
Hey, it looks like you're trying to write a letter.
Yeah.
No, to fuck it up for you.
Well, it's always that thing where I was never looking at the keyboard, so I'd be typing for ages and getting a flow on, and then look up and it's just a fucking bouncing little thing going, hey, I'm just trying to ask you a question from 10 minutes ago. You've been wasting time. Fuck you. Fuck off. Anyway.
Fuck off, Clippy, you little bastard.
Dear.
Yes, well worth a look. Got some very fun, interesting characters, and it does Star Trek well. But once again, I'd be very surprised if it continues on, because I think it does. Like, I don't know who it's actually meant to be appealing to. I really don't.
Well, there's some. The New York Times review described the show as not registering very strongly as either a geek fest or a transgressive satire, resuming that ultimately it's not that funny, and called out what he perceived to be pretty lazy joke writing.
Wow. Ow. It does actually have a couple of guest stars in there, though, that are worth, even just for the episode where Q shows up.
Oh, okay. Now I have to watch it.
Look, it's an easy watch as well. Like, if you're, if you're interested and you're a Star Trek fan, and you've run out of Ted Lasso and Schitt's Creek to watch, and you want something that's a bit happy and is going to be fun to watch, why not?
Okay.
And if you are in the vein of looking at some Star Trek stuff, Discovery is fun at the moment. It's going into really different, unusual places. It's all 1,000 years in the future now. So that's
it's all very
definitely
different.
calmed down from the Michael-centric seasons we've had previously. So.
Yeah,
it's kind of good.
If she bugged you as much as she did me, then you might enjoy this season a little more.
There is also a wonderful documentary doing the rounds called What We Left Behind, which is all about the making of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Okay. And if you can find that, it's great. It's one of those series that a lot of people didn't dig because it didn't feel as Star Trekky as the rest of them.
Yeah.
But
Admittedly, I haven't. That's the only one I haven't watched.
But when you actually go back and look at what they were trying to do with Deep Space Nine, it was the most politically interesting show in the entire Trek canon because it was all about, religion and terrorism and how do societies who have been at war for generations learn to live together and stuff. It's fucking interesting stuff.
Okay.
Your
So,
love of Deep Space Nine
check
is
that
well
out.
known, Quinny. You love Deep Space Nine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's well known. I'm just saying it is known.
Kind of do. It's true. Yes.
What else have anyone been
Right.
watching?
Do we have anything else that we wanted to talk about?
Any other TV that's been
Yeah, well,
keeping on?
if you're in the chat,
Yeah.
what
Tell
have you been watching? We
I
want
mean,
to know
I've been
what
watching stuff which is patently not awesome.
What
Like-
have you been watching that's not been awesome?
Well, I mean, stuff that, hey, the periodic table of awesome. What have you been watching a lot recently, Dion? Well, sex cult stuff.
You've been watching The Vow, haven't you?
I've been watching both The Vow on HBO and Seduced on Stan in Australia, I think it is, which is competing documentary series about the Nexian cult. Because why the fuck not? That's depressing as shit, so why not?
I watched The Haunting of Bly Manor,
Oh,
and that was very terrifying and great.
Yay. That's good.
is it a sort of sequel or a spiritual successor to The Haunting of Hill House?
Yes. So there's a lot of the
Yes.
same actors in it, and in the first episode it was very confusing because I'm like, hang on a second, is this the same person
you
from
the
this
same?
show? It's like, no, it's just a lot of the same actors back.
Right. Because that was one of the things that you did in the primer for horror that we talked about ages ago. Which is
Yeah.
like, Sabrina is a good entry level. And then you should watch Haunting
And
of
if
Hill
you want to go
House.
hardcore, you watch Hill House.
Yeah. Where would you consider Lovecraft Country to be on that scale?
Right.
Definitely middling horror.
Middling horror, cool.
Maybe even like,
Okay.
I don't want to say if you want to puss out on horror, watch Lovecraft Country, but I didn't find it extremely
I think
scary.
it's at the right level.
It's like I'd probably go Sabrina, then Lovecraft, then Hill House.
Yeah, right. Okay. It's actually
Yeah.
up there to be fucking terrifying.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to have trouble sleeping at night, watch Hill House.
Cool. No.
Or Blind Manor. Blind Manor is quite good.
No, I'm
Not
good.
as scary as Hill House.
I'm good. I like sleep. Sleep is a safe place.
And I've also watched Great Canadian Bake Off, which has Dan Levy in it, and it's like I can't get enough of him from Schitt's Creek, so I'm gonna watch really lovely Canadian people just bake cakes
I am
and not
having
be overly competitive about it.
I am having
Are they all
Kevin.
like really supportive of each other?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
people like will have finished their bake and like someone's stressing out. They're like, "Oh, what do you need me to do? I'll come and help you finish this." And it's just like, oh.
Damn Canadians. Just being so polite. I'm having massive Kevin McLeod withdrawals, not getting any grand designs. That's shitting me. As a guilty pleasure for me for television. What do I watch? I love watching grand designs. I love sitting there like, just watching them going, idiot. Didn't hire a project
people
manager.
that are like 12 months over due date and
Yeah.
$500,000
Are you the one
budget.
who, and anytime they
Super
say, "Oh, we're
judgy.
not going to hire somebody to be the manager of this project," you're like,
Yeah, now I am. Like, after watching so many seasons of Grand Designs, I just sort of sit there and go, waiting for Kevin McLeod's side eye when he's talking to them at the start. And he's like, "Oh, really?" It's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, good luck."
Yes.
I watched Emily in Paris.
Oh, I did watch Emily in Paris as well.
That's a
No,
series.
Peter, no.
Does Emily know? What's Emily in
Look.
Paris? Tell us about Emily in Paris.
Oh.
I mean, I wouldn't class it as awesome things necessarily.
Doesn't belong in this show. But did
Super
you enjoy
slender
it?
white girl goes to Paris to work while knowing none of the language and subsequently gets pursued by many beautiful French men.
Oh my
while
God, so
telling the
many
French
hot
how to
French
do their
dudes.
jobs, and in the end she still hasn't learned the language.
Yeah, but this is like Lily Collins, who's like fucking supermodel level woman. Yeah.
I mean, she's just very slim. Um,
Not to mention though, like the fashion is not fantastic.
She's the-
Like it's
Fashion
all
isn't
very last
fantastic.
seat off the rack.
She's
I'm
the
like,
daughter of Phil Collins,
mhm.
who
You can feel it.
coming in the air tonight.
Definitely does not
Hold
take
on.
after him in the looks department. She's
Oh, God.
stunning.
Hey, Phil Collins.
He's a very handsome man.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure he floated someone's boat.
Well, he had to. That's
yeah,
how you got-
exactly.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, just
did-
it just
I
went in the
mean-
pile of we don't need any more stories about slender white women.
Right.
It was
at the
fine for
moment.
some mindless TV.
Speaking of
And then I watched
slender,
something called Queen's Gambit,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
what I was gonna
Manic
ask.
Pixie Dream Girl
God.
plays chess.
That
yes,
keeps getting pushed to me, and I'm like, I don't fucking want to watch this Netflix. Can you stop?
someone said that Queen's Gambit on Netflix is like a sports anime.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I was like-
if anybody has seen Hikaru no Go, the anime, apparently it's exactly the same. It's just with chess.
Fair
Right.
enough.
What's Hikaru no Go about?
It's about Go, which is basically like Japanese chess.
Oh,
with the
gotcha.
little
Yep.
things. And the spirit of like a 1300s ghost possesses this boy, and this ghost was like really good at Go, and so he possesses the boy and tells him like how to play all the moves to like beat these Go champions. So it's like rags to riches story. Go.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm always astonished by the way that anime manages to take anything and make it. You know, it's like this is an anime about playing basketball. This is an anime about swimming. This is an anime about baking stuff.
The swimming anime, can I just tell you, started because it was a campaign for selling water in Japan. They invented these boys that look like swimmers, and then everyone's like, turn it into an anime, you bastards! And so somebody picked it up. They're like, okay, we're going to turn these 5 hot swim boys that are selling water to Japanese people into a swimming anime.
And it worked. And now, yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I might watch the Queen's Gambit because I liked Anya Taylor-Joy's work, but then I have to admit I still haven't seen New Mutants because I didn't go to the cinema to watch it, and I've been waiting for it to become available. So I was like, I'll just hold until I see that one and see what she's like in that.
Yeah, like Queen's Gambit, it's actually not bad. I didn't hate watch it like I hate watched Emily in Paris. I actually watched it because I was interested to see the end. But I did think it was historical fiction, and then I looked up and realised that no, that person didn't actually exist in the chess world. So it's just a made-up story about a slender white woman that plays chess.
But she's cool because she's got emotional and drug dependencies.
Well, yes, because you have to give women backstories about, you know, being damaged so that they can be damaged.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damaged
reasons.
women are only interesting.
Exactly. It couldn't just be interesting that she was a woman who loved and played chess in a time where not many women did that. No. It also had to be super damaged.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit annoying, but it was compelling enough. I watched the whole thing. I fast forwarded through some of the chess scenes because chess.
Yeah.
Because chess.
Well, this is my problem with it. I looked at it and I'm like, I've never played chess, so I don't really
You
understand.
don't need
chess
to
that well.
understand chess. It's like she wins or she doesn't, and that's
I
how
don't
she
know,
wins is irrelevant.
The only chess I
Wow,
like is
riveting.
boxing chess. Like I think boxing chess is great. Have you ever
What
watched
is
that?
boxing chess?
They do two rounds of chess where they whack, like, you know, they sort of do their move and then whack the clock, and then they do 1 round of boxing, and then they come back. Yeah, boxing chess is
No.
amazing. It's
Where
like,
do I find boxing?
hello YouTube. It's so funny because it's funny watching them, because at the start it's all about the chess because they've got to do the chess, and then they start punching each other, and then people's chess gets worse. Like the chess
The
goes
more
down.
headshots you take.
Yeah. So someone may not be real good at chess, but they may be real good at punching, and it levels that playing field slightly. Or if someone is good at defense and really good at chess, will win. Like it's like winner in this round because the winner of this competition was they got all the chess moves right, and they just sat there and absorbed a beating. Like boxing chess, I think is great if you're gonna do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Also, I watched Borat 2, speaking of boxing chess.
Right.
I got halfway through
What is
Borat,
it?
and then I
Couldn't
realized
watch it.
wow, this comedy was so 14 years ago. And it's
Sure.
just not doing it for me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Look,
I think I got to the bit where they went to the family planning center and there was that guy saying we can't give you an abortion, and I'm just like, God, this shit is so fucking predictable, and I had to turn it off.
Right.
Yeah, look, it's very like as you say, it's exceptionally for like a long time ago. But I do think that the actress or the actor who's playing his daughter is great.
Yeah.
She was really good. Like I didn't think it would actually make me give a shit, but the whole film is basically about her and not really about Borat, which is actually a good kind of nod. But again, yeah, you've seen
So like
this.
14 years ago, you kind of knew that like all the people that he was pranking in this movie were like legit in the dark. Now it just kind of seems like, oh, maybe they're actors.
I think they all knew that only because they did that thing where he's walking down the street and someone's like, "Hey, Borat!" It's like, no, it's not me.
Yeah,
But hey,
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch it. I've seen just enough out of the bits of Rudy Giuliani that made me go, blah.
yeah, that's still terrible.
Yeah.
Although I did like the debutante scene, which is where that. Did you watch that far, Jill?
Nah.
Nah, there is a scene where he goes with his daughter to the debutante ball, and she does a very special dance for everyone.
Oh no. Yeah.
Which is lifted straight from my friend Gypsy's stage. There's burlesque performer Gypsy Wood, who does a very special dance, perhaps at that time of the month. And her show is way better because it's a lot more graphic, whereas this one's just kind of for the thrill of it. Anyway, look that up if you're feeling game.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's good. Like that's kind of bleeding edge comedy.
Pun intended.
Anyway, what else have you been watching?
Speaking of which, I heard somebody watched the Craft, or was it?
Craft Legacy.
Oh god, could I crawl into my own mouth and die? I did. I will say on Halloween, whatever night that was, Saturday night or whatever.
Saturday.
Ended up thinking, oh yeah, like we watched The Witches. The
Yes.
new one.
It was okay.
It was fine. But then when everyone had left, I started watching Craft Legacy. The Craft Legacy. That's the actual one. And it is abysmal. It is terrible, abysmal, and shit.
Oh.
I know.
I did have that thing because I left before they got to it, and I was like, should I watch it? And you're like, save your bandwidth.
God, no. The Craft Legacy is fucking terrible. Even with David Duchovny, just sort of comes on, you're like, wow, dude, you just needed a car, right? Like, it's really bad. Also, but highbrow hilarious. Like, you can watch some of it. I had to rewind a couple of points and go, did that just actually happen? And rewound it a few seconds, like, yep. Here's the music sting, like bad, like shitty directorial choices, shitty narrative, and all built. The whole thing is built around the last frame of the movie, which is supposed to lead into another Craft movie and should not. It just should not.
See, that sounds like was it the Lost Boys 2 or the Lost? I think it was where it was like, and we're going to lead into a series, and you're like, no, you're not.
I mean, I kind of
don't even threaten that.
I would have liked to watch the Frog Brothers. Yeah, but like, no. Just don't fuck around. Like, I mean, the worst part I think about the Craft Legacy was it was trying to like the 90s are retro. Like,
well, the 90s are retro.
Well, shut up, man. It was last week. The 90s were last week.
When anyone says what was 10 years ago, I'm like, the 90s.
The 90s.
What was 20 years ago? The 70s.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how it is.
In this, like all the kids in it are wearing 90s stuff because it's kind of hip and funky. And I'm watching it going, this is terrible. No, stop. The 90s were bad.
Oh, speaking of the 90s, I actually have recently come to Pen 15, and I need another 90s child to watch that so that I can discuss it with them.
What is Pen 15?
It's quite good, actually. I thought that it would be really terrible, and it is actually It's quite good.
Sorry, when I looked at Pen 15, I realized it's a penis joke.
It's a penis joke.
But it's a cringe comedy. Come on, Quinny. How would you not
Well,
get that with Pen 15?
It's kind of a cringe comedy, but then it has quite good character development and is a wonderful depiction of young female friendship, and has some excellent in-jokes for all of the 90s kids out there. And when I say 90s kids, I mean like kids who remember the 90s, not kids who were born in the 90s, like, you know? And I got mildly obsessed with it a couple of months ago. And I would love somebody to watch it so that I can talk to them about it, because at the moment I'm the only person I know who's actually watched it.
I vaguely remember seeing a trailer for it and thinking, oh, that looks like it could be fun, and then promptly forgot to watch it. Because that's what I do.
So the two creators who are in their 30s play versions of themselves as teenagers, and all of the other actors are actual teenagers and are great. Like the kids that they have in this show are absolutely terrific, because they're playing against grown-ups pretending to be kids, and like with 90s vibe and terminology, and you kind of got to watch it. I want you to watch it. Please watch it. You need to watch it.
Maybe we should watch that.
Because they won't get it. They're too old.
Oh, sorry. So Dion and I will not get it because we're too old.
Oh,
thanks. It's a deep 90s teen thing.
Speaking of that, I've got to take my heart medication and go to bed early.
I was a teen in the 90s, right?
Very late teen.
You weren't a 12-year-old girl in the 90s.
Quinny.
That's what this kind of is hitting.
19 isn't a teen in the 90s.
You.
I was 19 in 1990. That girl.
I'm not that fucking old. Jesus.
What are you now, Quinny? Like 60, 65?
Christ almighty.
Look, it is a specific audience, because there is a lot of stuff about being a 13-year-old girl in it, but that's kind of why I love it, because you don't get a lot of shows that are about being a 13-year-old girl, but like really.
I can relate.
Like actually.
I can totally relate to that, yeah.
I said, well, Predicanga to say in the chat, it's like, I mean, Peter was right about Ted Lasso, so...
Yeah.
So...
Look, I'm not gonna. It's not with Ted Lasso. I'm just saying there are some good things about it, and it might be worth a watch.
Another little thing about Ted Lasso, just totally off topic on that, but something that is exciting about that, season 2 is in production, but it's already been picked up for season 3. Like ahead of everything else. They're like, shit, this thing's really good. We're just going to give them a straight through. You've got 2 and 3 straight away, so that's good.
I hope it keeps being really good.
Yeah,
It's got a lot to live up to now.
It does. I do have one thing else that I watched, and this is actually one of those things that's on the list of not so awesome. And normally I wouldn't bitch about it, but it is something that is very close to my heart, and that is Transformers.
God. Okay. How is it not awesome?
So there was a series that was advertised very heavily as being, Transformers is coming to Netflix. And, it was the big thing, and all of the Transformers fans were like, oh, yeah, sweet, we're going to get a new cool animated series. It's not good.
Oh.
Real bad.
Oh.
Which one is this one?
Sorry?
Which one's this one? Which animated series?
It's literally, War for Cybertron Siege.
Because the toys are out.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And this is, you can see that it's very much about marketing the toys. Like the characters in the show are just the model of the toy animated.
A Transformer TV series that is about marketing toys? Quel dommage.
Who'd have thunk it?
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
But this one suffers very, very badly from having... Well, it's produced by Rooster Teeth, not any of the other companies that have ever produced like Transformers stuff. And it uses all non-union actors. And I don't know who their voice director is, but they've got no fucking clue what they're doing.
Probably have no voice director.
So the only actor of any real sort of note that I was aware of on it was Todd Haberkorn.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry?
Okay, Todd Habercorn.
Yeah, so Todd Habercorn, who, nice guy, but not exactly a huge name. And then everything else is just a whole bunch of people who I've never heard of. And they're not good. It's so disappointing because it looks pretty, but it's just bad.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
and
what a
the worst thing
downer.
about it is it's a trilogy of series.
Oh.
So you've got like this one, and then there's Earthrise, and then there's Kingdom, and they're all by the same company. And I'm like, oh, great.
Oh yeah, like I'm looking at the voice list for Siege, and it's like none of the voices.
Yeah,
maybe that's
like,
how they got the price down.
I think so. And,
oh dear.
And the worst thing is, like, it, if there is a hokey script, a good voice director can save it. If you've got a not great voice actor, a good voice director can, pull something out of it. This is slow and it's clunky and it feels like, a whole bunch of people who have never done this kind of acting before. And I mean, they're experienced voice actors. They're just not well known, but fuck, it's terrible. So to all of those people out there who are like, oh yeah, there's a cool Netflix Transformer show. No, there's not.
Well, there you go.
There's only the bitterness that a Transformers fan can dredge up for you.
So there's a bunch of things for you to watch and not to watch.
Yes. And we are, of course, always happy to have your suggestions. And
sure. Speaking of suggestions, what are we doing next week?
Well, next week we're actually going to do a movie.
A movie.
Oh, a movie.
Yes, in a rare, brief moment where we said, let's not try and make ourselves watch 8 fucking episodes of TV or 10 or 12 or whatever.
That's right. The Craft 2 Legacy. We're all going to watch that. You're all going to watch it and like it.
Predakanga's just brought up The Watch in the thing.
Fuck, don't. Not yet.
Yeah, that's one that we're going to have to
hold.
Yeah. But no, next week we are talking about Love and Monsters, which is a film that came out a couple of weeks ago, and looks like a lot of fun. So we thought we'd...
Not to be confused with the Japanese porn Monster Love that you guys have obviously watched and very well.
Not to be confused with the episode of Doctor Who where somebody gets a blowjob from a tile. So...
What?
Yep.
God, I don't even want to know that.
There is a description, a reference to Moaning Myrtle who gets turned into a paving tile, and they still manage to have a sex life. So, go figure.
Kill me. Well, I mean, fuck, your Doctor Who is
more
just
alluded to that actually happens in the episode.
True. Yeah, sorry. Okay, it's an illusion more than...
like Doctor Who to me.
For a children's show, I really don't remember that happening.
Just remember, like, Doctor Who's had so many episodes, it doesn't matter. Something has happened. It's kind of like Simpsons did it,
Yeah.
Like, remember that episode of Doctor Who where, he gave a Nazi salute? Yeah, that was there.
Yeah.
In there somewhere.
Totally,
right.
somewhere along the line.
Yeah, so Love and Monsters. We'll watch that one.
Yes, and feel free, you should be able to find it, and you can join in the conversation, or you can wait until we've watched it and tell you whether or not it's actually worth wasting your time on.
Ooh, terrible. But we also will try, I'll endeavour to do the thing that people talked about in the chat, which was the thing with the Harley and the TV and the season and that thing. What's that called?
Yes. So, we are looking at Harley Quinn, the animated series coming up sometime very soon as well.
Sure.
And yes, the blonde dude in that episode did play Mr. Tea Time in the Discworld TV series. So well done.
Isn't it Mr. Tea Time?
It is Tea Time or
Tea
Time. Yes.
Ooh.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I like those Discworld movies.
Did you?
Wish
they made
they
more?
kept making those as opposed to whatever we're getting for that stupid fucking Watch series.
Hold, Quinny.
Okay, I'm getting better at holding my opinion, but the 3 trailers that we've seen so far are not giving me confidence. Okay.
Oh dear. Well, what a lovely round there. I got all that off my chest. I've talked about Raised by Wolves now and the weird snake baby monster. Done.
Yep.
Flying snake baby.
Got
monster.
it off my chest. Right, that resolved to put that one lower on the schedule. Don't worry about it. That sits with the C factor now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm done. Well, I've been Dion.
I've been Quinny.
I've been Jill.
I've been Peter.
Hooray! We got out this time.
Yay.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah. Well, join us all next time. When
Thank
we do fun
you.
things. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that's good.
Is that good? Are we out? Do we
Yeah.
out?
Well,